used to think boundaries were selfish. I thought I was letting other people down, disappointing them, making life more difficult because I was always unavailable. But as I am growing and evolving and going through my personal development and growth journey, I realized that they aren't actually about pushing people away or hurting other people's feelings, that it's actually about protecting the life that I'm trying to build. Welcome to another Thrive to 30 video. Today is all about protecting my peace, understanding the boundaries that I need, and that it's not about hurting people's feelings or upsetting others. It's really about understanding what it means to protect yourself, your goals, your dreams, and who you want to be. I used to think that I was always causing issues with family or friends when I really didn't want to do something, or I felt like I was always saying yes to things and they were not aligning with who I truly am, or there were other things that I wanted to do or focus on or spend my time in. That realization of this version of myself that I was becoming was deciding and choosing, and I didn't really know what that choice was or why I had to make a choice in the first place. But honestly, it really started to become saying no to the things I wanted to say yes to things I didn't. And because of this, I couldn't build a life that was not only successful, peaceful, aligned, but I was constantly giving myself away to people, energy, opportunities, I guess, that I didn't really align with. And going through this Thrive to 30 journey, I want to welcome you back to this community, because I want to share with you that you can push yourself over the next 500 days, 750 days, or 1,000 days like I am, to level up. And this community is here for you. And here at Balance While Blooming, I am just a wife, a stepmom. I work a full 9 to 5, and I really want to remind you that I am just going through the journey of believing to become. I am believing in myself, understanding what I want, understanding how I had to get clear on exactly who I wanted to be, and then I get to build her. I have full control of my life, of what I want to do and what I don't want to do, but it also takes balance of knowing this season of life, all my areas of life, and not just saying yes to everything, so that I can bloom consistently with intention and with purpose, so that I can become this person who is not only aligned, but building my life for success and happiness. And all of that comes together here at Balance While Blooming. So please subscribe, like this video, and follow along on this Thrive to 30 journey as I am showing up as my best self from December 31st, 2025 until I turn 30 on September 26th, 2028, going into the building period. And I think boundaries are a big part of that. So today we're going to talk about why boundaries matter, really understanding why your current boundaries aren't working, or why the boundaries that I'm creating are working, both ways of that, and then why boundaries are hard, why we fall off track, and why some people just really struggle to have them, and what changes, and how does your life really reflect a new version of yourself when you have boundaries, and how the Believe to Become system actually makes you more confident and realizes that your time and energy actually have value. You're creating to support the person you're becoming by building one day at a time, and finding this middle ground of balancing between showing up for others and showing up for yourself, and then blooming, creating more space, more freedom, more peace, and more confidence in your life, so that you can become the woman who trusts herself, who's creating the life of her dreams, and honors who you say you are. First off, why do we even need boundaries? What are they for? And why do they matter? They protect your peace, they protect your time, and they protect your mental health and focus. About it protecting your energy is really about knowing that we can't give it all to everyone. Every commitment, every conversation, responsibility can be a distraction that takes you away from something else. You have to decide where your energy is going to go. I really had to think about what was draining me, and I love my family, but sometimes if you give them all the energy and effort and everything that they want, it really drains you from filling up your own cup and following your own dreams. So we decided for us is that we do family dinner every other week, every couple of weeks, and this fills up my cup. I get to give my time and my energy back to my family. I get to check in with them, but I also know that this also gives me some downtime to be the version of the person I want to be. This is in all areas of life, from my marriage, from my family, my goals, my creativity, my future. All of these are very intentional with how I spend my time, when I waste too much time, where am I aligned, and what deserves me right now for the energy that I have. It's also about protecting your time. We all have the same 24 hours. Everyone always says that, but are you using it for intention to take strong action and know that you are not wasting time by maybe prioritizing your goals, prioritizing your health, understanding that you need to make time for your personal dreams and your goals, and realistically, where, if you are someone like me with a 9 to 5, are you protecting your evenings or are you protecting your weekends? You really have to decide that, because a lot of our day is either sleeping, working, doing other things for other people. We need to create a routine for the support of who we want to be, the goals that we set for ourselves, the habits that we have, and the systems that we have. And all of that really rounds together your mental health and your focus. We're constantly creating pressure of all this to-do list and all these things that we need to do, and being available 24/7 with our phones. I really want you to start living outside of this. It's important that you deserve the moments of being able to respond and help and give your time and energy, but it's also important that you take a step back and understand that you take breaks away from social media. You don't answer everyone immediately, and you create those quiet moments in your life, because you honestly need to say no to the distractions. Get focused on who you want to become, the woman of your dreams, and not be distracted. We just talked about who do you want to create, finding yourself again, understanding who you are. This was all the first chapter of this Thrive to 30 journey, and it's all about understanding who you are, who you want to be, and protecting your own goals, vision, dream, but also creating space for who matters, what matters, and when you have that time to focus on your family, your friends, your health, your wellness, and when you need to focus on you, yourself, your goals, and your future. I have boundaries that I'm working on, and there's boundaries that I have not kept. So I'm really going to make this really personal for who I want to be. And the 3 main things are having healthier phone boundaries, keeping my work at work, and protecting my evenings. And then I'm going to also share about how I'm saying no without guilt, but I feel like this one can reflect on a lot of people. And so let's start by talking about our phones. I just did how to live life outside of your phone, but realizing our phones can take so much time from our actual life. And I want to step away from always listening to a podcast, always being in my phone, always having my phone attached to my hip. But it's really about creating those intentional free moments, less scrolling at night, being present during the times that I need to, so that I can live in the moment, know when I need to post, when I have to take action, and when I can take a step back and be like, do I need that? Do I need to answer this person right away? Or can I just take some time for me and just be without everyone needing me constantly? Keeping work at work. If you don't know, I'm a legal assistant, so there's a lot of learning, adapting, and being absorbed in people's lives, and it can be my entire identity, and a lot of people know me as that's what I do. And I work for a very small law firm, and I have a lot of stress, and we know all about each other's lives and the projects that we're working on and the cases that we have, and sometimes it can really overwhelm us. So I like to end the day at work of just kind of unplugging, turning everything off, and transitioning from work to home. I call my husband on the way home. I debrief as much as I possibly can. Obviously, there's things I can't share. And then I mentally just leave it all behind. I talk about my coworkers. I talk about some people. I talk about not cases, but situations that I just never want to be in. And I come home and I decompress. I'm really working on this so that I don't talk about people at my work or the energy that I bring at my work and everything in between. Now, protecting my evenings is something that I've connected with because I want to work on my business in the mornings and on the weekends on one weekend day. So the evenings are when I reconnect with my husband, with my house. I reset as much as possible, but I also rest when necessary because the nights need to be my reset. I can either read, I can go for a walk, I can have my joy time where we do a board game, or I just slump and watch TV. And then I also like to cook, I like to bake. So these are the times in the evenings that I like to just really say no to anything else and just spend time with my husband, my stepson, and just be in my house where I want to be and have that peaceful energy without it being overwhelming. That being said, we all can start saying no without guilt. It's time to not be dramatic with why it won't align with you or why this time doesn't work or always have to justify it with some other excuse. It's actually about protecting your priorities and understanding that you aren't disappointing them, you are just setting expectations. Instead of saying, I can't because I'm busy, really be honest and learn that, hey, this doesn't align right now with what I have going on in this season of life. I'm prioritizing X, Y, and Z. Or you can keep it as simple as, hey, right now this is not aligning with this season of life. I'm protecting my peace and my time and I'm being more intentional. So let's schedule something for the future. I think boundaries are so high because we want everyone to like us. We want to fit in and we really fear everyone being disappointed and feeling that guilt of saying no or making a different choice or even doing the wrong choice. But bringing it back to everyone liking us, it's important that you understand that there's always going to be this simple moment where everyone's easygoing, go with the flow, people pleaser, wanting to avoid the conflict. But honestly, is that the version of who you want to be when you're building a life for success, for joy, and what is in alignment for you? Or do you have to really design your life to be meaningful and create the version of yourself who is available at specific times for specific manners? And there's certain things that people are just going to have to understand that it no longer aligns with this version of yourself. And if that means that they walk away from your life, then they were just here for a season or a moment and not for the longevity of who you want to become. And this sometimes means that you don't only disappoint other people, but you disappoint yourself because you feel like you've done something wrong or you've upset them. And you have to understand that as long as you vocalize exactly how or why and when you can in the future, if that's something you want, that you can still love up on them. And that how they react is not your responsibility. It is not up to you for them to react a certain way. A lot of times you are being offered to go somewhere and it's your choice, and you have to either decide to stay strong on who you want to be and feel that uncomfortableness of leveling up, choosing yourself, and going on this journey so that you don't have this guilt of having the wrong choice or feel like you're doing something wrong. It's really about breaking an old pattern and understanding who you want to be. And this version of yourself that you're going to be is really when you make that change and when you make that shift of no longer accepting or always saying yes or always settling for less. You have more peace, you have more intention in your life and you have more energy for what matters. And that's really, really important because you are at peace with your decision. You've decided and you are not getting pulled in every direction. You have a vision, you have a goal, and it's clear to you. So you've made this whole overwhelm and what if I do this? What if I do that? When can I fit this in? To, hey, this is what I've decided. This is what I'm doing. And this is the direction I'm going. So now instead of reacting to everyone else, you start choosing your own life and you're living with more intention. You are deciding not only the systems that you're creating, the habits that you make, but who gets your energy, who gets your time, and who are you and what are you going to build around this life that you're building with intention, with purpose. And honestly, once you decide that, the energy that you have towards your dreams, your relationships, and your overall growth and future is going to just fuel you, because not only do you know exactly what you're pouring into, but you finally have room for those little things that you get to say yes to when the time comes. So honestly, how does this come into the Thrive to 30? How is this letting you believe in yourself, build the life of your dreams, balance, bloom, and become? It's really about recognizing and believing I deserve to protect my peace. I deserve my life of my dreams, and I believe in myself that I have the capabilities to become this person. Then it's all about building and creating those boundaries so that you can become that person. Small choices, creating day by day, they all create from a foundation of this is what I'm choosing, this is what I'm not, and we're going to slowly make one choice and one decision at a time for who aligns with who we're building and becoming and blooming into. And this means that you must find the balance and this middle ground between showing up for others, giving yourself away, your energy, your time, your effort, but also showing up for yourself, your dreams, and your future, and the person that you want to become. Finding that balance means that you get to bloom, you get to create more space, more peace, more confidence, and you have a bigger vision so that you can become the woman who not only trusts herself with exactly the choices you're making, you know you're in alignment, you know that it's all going to work out, but it's also about honoring who you are, who you're becoming, and the needs and wants and energy and the time that you need to set forth for your future self. So before 30, I think that I wanted to just always be there for people, give all of my time and energy, and not understand that I was wasting a lot of time, a lot of energy, and I was giving myself away from the life that I actually wanted to live. But before 30, I'm going to really lock in protecting my peace and knowing that it's no longer selfish or that I'm taking away something of myself from someone else. And it's actually necessary because sometimes we need that rest. Sometimes we need to say no, and sometimes it just doesn't align with who we want to be, and that's okay. Because every time I say no to something, I actually am saying yes to the life I'm trying to build. And I want to remind you that I'm always here for you. Does that mean I'm going to answer right away? No. Does that mean that I'm going to take every single client who wants me to mentor them or give them the advice? No. But part of a community is being part of a group who feels inspired. And I want to inspire you by saying, hold your own boundaries, do what you need to do, girl, and know that you are transforming one day at a time. And that means that you need to protect your own peace. You need to really set the boundaries for who you want to be, and that you're living the life of your dreams for your best self. And know that there's one area of life that you need to set a boundary for. Where are you giving your extra energy, your time, and wasting that time? And where can you start protecting not only your dreams, but your future by showing up one day at a time? And I want to hold you accountable, saying, hey, that's not what aligns with your future self. So yes, I'm going to support you. Of course, I'm going to give you the time and energy. My whole vision and purpose here at Balance While Blooming is to not only go on my personal development journey, go on this growth transformation where I believed in myself and balanced and bloomed and I'm building to become this person, but it's really about supporting other people, giving them the tools, and knowing that there's more than just this Thrive to 30, so much more than the Believe to Become system. There's mindset, there's productivity, there's boundary setting, and there's also just taking it one day at a time. So as I'm going through this journey, I invite you to come along, check out my other Thrive to 30 videos, but subscribe for so much more. We are so much more than just this next few years. There's a whole life to live, and I am becoming the version that I want to be. I am taking it one day at a time, and I invite you to come along with me as we just go through this journey called life and take it one day at a time, as we can inspire each other with our stories, write our own stories, be unique, we're all different, and live the life of our dreams. So I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.